Cosmos, War of the Planets.
Did somebody say war? Yeehaw! Fire
What is wrong with you? He blew up part of my set. What does he think this is, the Goulardi show? Until then, I'm sure we will be trying to fix my hotel. And probably sending someone to the dungeon.
Where is she? Run faster. No. Next. No. She's not there. How do you know? The game is off. Next. This is ridiculous. Next.
It's absolutely ridiculous. You said 2 weeks. 2 weeks was enough time to finish my hotel. You've barely done anything. Every time I even look out to check, I don't find a nice skeleton crew hard at work. It's more like a ghost town.
You got a problem with ghosts,
Oh,
lady?
get off it. Why do I put up with you people?
The camera.
I have a schedule to keep. I have a show to do. It's bad enough that yet another human has betrayed my gracious benevolence as proprietor of this fine establishment. It's bad enough that I've had to deal with unhappy guests whose tombstones cracked in the blast, or a witch yammering on that we shall not suffer the humans to live. But now you're telling me that I have no place to do my show? A show that I have spent nearly a decade crafting into the image that I want to portray to the world of a kindly monster next door who doesn't suck the humans dry in their sleep for funsies. Do you know how bloody painful it is for a vampire to accept change? And now you tell me I have to change my show?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm monologuing here, you rotten bag of bones.
What?
What?
Would you like to show?
Oh, for Hades' sake.
Where's your back?
Hello and welcome to Horror Hotel, where horror fans and horror freaks of all kind are welcome. Things are obviously very different tonight due to recent events. As you can see, we have moved inside the hotel as my crews work their fingers to the bone in renovating the hotel after those recent events. But I am, as ever, your host, Lamia, Queen of the Dark, first vampire and hostess extraordinaire. Tonight, I've decided to take you on an adventure with our favorite brand of monsters around here.
Zombies.
Which is not zombies. I'm talking, of course, about vampires. The one species that has never betrayed me. Unlike humans, or zombies, or the Olympians. Vampires, my children, and as much as I hate to admit it, my grandchildren. And in deciding to feature a story of my kind, I thought we should revisit a classic that I have not shown here at Horror Hotel in several years. We'll be watching the 1932 film Vampire from Danish filmmaker Carl Theodor Dreyer. In tonight's film, a traveler arrives in the village of Courtempier and takes lodgings in a small inn. The man has an obsession with the supernatural, particularly vampires. Dark forces rise, leading him on a quest to save some young girls and drive a stake through a vampire's heart. How delightful. This German-French film was Dreyer's first sound picture, but he kept the dialogue to a minimum, continuing to rely on title cards and intense visuals to tell the story. Dreyer's only other horror credit was the silent 1920 feature, The Parson's Widow. Writing the screenplay along with Dreyer was Christian Yuhl. Yuhl had a fairly sparse career, writing only 5 films in 21 years after Vampire. None of these were horror. Perhaps had the film been better received, he'd have found more success after it. The film also didn't do much to advance the careers of the acting ensemble, which was mostly comprised of amateurs. Sybil Schmitz did gain some notoriety following Vampire, but after the German film community shunned her for her continued work during the Third Reich, her career slowly fizzled out, eventually leading to her tragic suicide at the age of 45. Maurice Schutz amassed 103 credits in his 34-year career, though his only other horror film appearance was in Unusual Tales in 1949. Though many today consider this unsettling, beautifully atmospheric horror film a classic, the film was poorly received in its day, panned by audiences and critics alike. Today, the film has found its praise, which just goes to show you that sometimes the problem isn't in a film, but its audience. Market the same film to another, and you may yet find its success. I think you're going to enjoy this one. I like it enough that I'm showing it to you a second time. I also know many of you are newer viewers who weren't around for the first showing. But before we get into the film, it looks like we need to take a quick break. Hang around. I'll have it ready to go when we come back.